Hello everybody, it's Charlotte Eléa for our February 2018 forecast. Thank you all for joining me today. I am really excited to explore the energies that are coming through this month. They are juicy, they are deep, they are complex, and I'm going to take my time to really walk us through it. So what I've done this month is I have drawn 3 cards for us from the Eléa Tarot, and I'm going to hold up each of those cards for you to meditate a little bit on yourself in just a few minutes. But first, I did just want to let you all know why I often use the Eléa Tarot in these forecasts, because if you follow me, you probably have noticed that in my weekly transmissions, I usually use the Wild Unknown Tarot and Animal Oracle. And really that's because the cards are so beautifully photographed, and the power of the imagery and the symbolism comes across so well in photographs. So that's really why I use the Wild Unknown cards in those weekly transmissions. But in these monthly forecasts, which go a little bit deeper and are kind of a gift from me to you, from my heart, and the energies that I'm experiencing as well, I consider myself kind of an incubator of the collective energies to read and to feel into them and interpret them and share them with you all. So I use the Eléa Tarot because it is just one of my all-time favorite decks. It is actually probably, it's hard for me to name one, but it is the deck that I use the most for my own personal readings. And so the Eléa, this is the book that it comes with and the cards. I really love this deck because of its complexity, because it ventures into the light, the shadow, and the dark. It incorporates all the different polarities of humanity. So that light and dark, but also masculine and feminine. It plays with androgyny. It explores so many different mythologies and includes all different types of symbols, archetypes, myths in its imagery, animals, so much. And so each card is just so rich and so complex. And it's a deck that you definitely need to build a relationship with it over time. It's not a deck that will reveal itself to you right away. It's a deck that it's so juicy that we really need to spend time with it and spend time with each card that you draw. And I have a little secret to tell you guys also. If you follow me, you know that I often tell you not to use the books that come with your decks, right? Because I encourage you to just take in the imagery itself and as a way to really activate your intuition. But I do actually sometimes refer to the book that she gave with the cards, because each card holds so many stories and so much myth and history. And so I'm curious as to what that is, and because her writing is so poetic, so stream of consciousness, and it actually helps activate my own intuition because of how she writes it in the book. She doesn't give you just kind of a clear-cut explanation. This card just means this. Her writing is really an exploration through the abyss. So if you are wanting to dive into a deeper, juicier, more complicated deck, I would highly recommend making the investments and getting the Eléa. Okay, so on to the energies for this month, for February. So if you watched my January forecast, I talked a lot about some of the themes, overall themes for 2008 that were coming through. And one of them was relationships, and where we are all navigating new ways of being in relationship to one another, forming new relationships that will be really transformative for the next several years of our lives, and navigating through some lot of kind of rocks and highs and lows through that, a lot of conflict. We're learning how to work with conflict in relationship in new ways. So relationships are going to be a big theme this month, actually. I'm going to talk a little bit more about that. Okay, so I'm going to hold up each of the cards that came through. So you can all just take it in. Allow yourself just to look at the card, look at the imagery, take it in, allow your emotions to be activated, allow sensations to be activated, allow memory, anything, just look at them from a place of curiosity rather than a need to know, right? And this is the way we really are able to activate our intuition, when we come from a place of curiosity rather than a need to know. Okay, so here's the first card that came through. Hierophant, number 5. And here is the second card that came through for us. 2 of discs. Discs are pentacles in this deck. All right, and then the third card, Ace of Swords. It came through reverse. I'm going to show it upright just so you can take in that imagery. And I will go in deeper into why it's coming through reverse for us. And then just to look at it reverse, just to see if anything else comes through with the image this way. Okay, so I'm actually going to begin this forecast reading with that last card, with Ace of Swords reverse, because this is the shadow quality that is coming through for us all collectively this month, which is connected to that need to know. So the Ace of Swords reversed is an experience of walking through a fog where everything feels really unclear, where you may feel really muddled, where you may feel really confused, where it's as if you have all these pieces of a puzzle. I'm actually imagining like one of those cube puzzles rather than a floor puzzle. So you have all these pieces and you've been trying to put them all together and you just can't get it right. You just keep missing something. The pieces just aren't fitting together. And so there's this place we drop to in that experience where we think there must be a missing piece. There's just something wrong with it. There's just something I don't know. And so it activates within us the seeker. The seeker within us who wants to know, who wants to learn, who wants to understand, who wants to bring this puzzle into wholeness. And that desire for clarity within us, beneath that desire for clarity is actually a deeper desire. And that deeper desire is a desire for wholeness and a desire for trust and for confidence. And so as we are embracing the seeker within us, this desire for wholeness, this desire to feel whole, to feel trusting in ourselves, to feel confident, pay attention to any beliefs or shadows that get activated where you're telling yourself that you're not whole, that you're not complete, that you need something external to you to solve your problem. Pay attention to that. That belief connects you to deeper shadows of being unworthy, of being incomplete, of being incapable. A belief that you need someone else or something else to fix you. Okay, so this Ace of Swords energy, this desire for clarity, the seeker in us who wants to learn, is leading us right into the energy that is the most strong, the most apparent, the most on the surface level of our consciousness this month, which is the energy of the Hierophant. So the seeker in us desires to learn. The seeker in us desires a teacher. And how we relate to our inner seeker will determine how we approach this desire to learn, whether we're coming from a place of wholeness or incompleteness within ourselves from that belief. So the Hierophant energy, and I love the way that Marielle portrays the complexity of this energy. It contains quite a bit of darkness, right? So when we meditate on the Hierophant card, I also encourage you to meditate on the number 5. Because the number 5 is traditionally the number of struggle, of separation. So if you think about all the numbers going from 1 to 9 or 1 to 10, however we like to see it, 5 is the furthest from 1 and 10. 1 and 10 being connection, unification with source, right? So 5 is actually where we find ourselves deeply entrenched in our own humanity, in our own experience of separateness. And so from that place, there is desire to be unified again, to feel whole. There is a trigger that can activate within us of incompleteness. And in that sense of loneliness and separation, is where we can suffer. And so the 5s show us these ways of being human, the way that we all suffer. So from this place, we have a desire to rediscover this sense of wholeness within us. And from that place, we seek out another person. And so the Hierophant has been the traditional models and ways that we have been taught of finding that sense of wholeness, right? And that tradition has been to find it from someone else. That someone else, a spiritual teacher, a mentor, holds the keys to your sense of trust, sense of wholeness, sense of confidence, sense of clarity. So the Hierophant holds those keys, okay? So we are being asked to radically shift the relationship that we have to this idea of being taught, of someone else holding the keys. And we can either fall into this model or we can rebel against it. And so this month, I am challenging you to rebel against it, to be able to recognize within us the desire for wholeness and know that that desire for wholeness makes you human. And then allowing that desire for wholeness to guide you towards, instead of someone who you think holds the keys to fixing you, towards guiding you towards somebody who will help you discover those keys to freedom within yourself. We are all being challenged to create relationships that shift us out of this old paradigm into a new paradigm, where instead of we putting someone else on a pedestal and thus putting ourselves below them, or putting ourselves on a pedestal and thus talking down to other people. Because within this card, there's those two polarities. We are either the teacher or we are the taught, right? We're being asked to radically shift out of that paradigm and instead come into a new relationships where we are instead on a level playing field and lifting each other up. So what this means this month is for you to begin questioning the rules, questioning your rules. So your rules may be deeply held beliefs you have about yourself versus others. They may also be just assumptions that you make on a day-to-day basis about what you need to do, who you need to be. Question those rules, because those rules are going to be coming forward for you in order to start revising them, in order to start rebelling against them. The keys of the patriarchy, right? I really consider this card sort of the card of the patriarchy, because this is the system of power and power imbalances that we have all been entrenched in for so long. So the keys of the patriarchy, which tell us that they'll guide us towards the answers that we seek outside of ourselves. Actually, those keys actually hold the pathway to our own freedom, because simply by rejecting the keys, we realize that the gate is already open. And all we need to do is step inside. Begin pointing our locus of focus and attention from outside ourselves to inside. And to allow our desire to guide us towards those teachers, those fellow human beings, that if we are confused, if we are in this place of seeking and wanting to discover and know and feel that sense of wholeness, guide us towards people that will help us discover that within ourselves. So, this energy then leads us to the third energy this month, which is a much more subtle but equally as powerful energy that's kind of operating beneath the surface. So this is kind of the conscious, this is kind of our unconscious this month, okay? So the Two of Pentacles is revealing for us a new way of learning, a new way of relating. So it's shifting us out of this way of seeing. So we're seeing through this lens of what we are going to get from another person, what we're going to receive from another person. This kind of transactional lens of the way we're viewing our relationships. All of our relationships, by the way. So I'm not just talking about your primary intimate relationships, romantic, also family, business, colleague, friends, okay? So it's often those people that we are not very close to, but we interact with every day, that these energies can play out the most, because it creates a playing field for us. But these energies will definitely also resonate within those deeper relationships, within our partnerships, and within our families of origin as well. That's where they were seated. Okay, so we've been seeing and being in relation through this transactional way of like, what I'm going to get from you, what I'm going to receive from you. That keeps us in this kind of old Hierophant way of being, right? And we're shifting our way of seeing to instead viewing the world through our own polarities. Okay, so one side sees one side of the polarity, the other eye sees the other side of the polarity. And I know I'm talking in abstraction right now and getting rather theoretical. So I want to try to break this down a little bit better for you. I don't want to be all esoteric, which can be fun for me, but ultimately unhelpful. So first, I just wanted to point out something within these two cards, if you can see. Okay. Okay. So this card, what struck me when I looked at these cards, the breasts and the eyes. The breasts are the eyes. And there's something about looking at that and seeing them as the same that kind of sparks an inner sense of knowing for me. And that is really, really hard to put into words. So I just want you to be able to look at that too and see the connection, how the eyes are the breasts are the eyes. Okay, so how are we viewing the world? Are we seeing through what we're getting, here? Or are we seeing through the polarities of our inner world? Okay, so let me break this down further. So being in the middle of our own polarities is where we can expect to find a sense of inner balance and calm within ourselves. However, when we come into a challenging place within ourselves, within our mind, so as the seeker is activated and we're confused, we can't figure something out, we need to learn, we need to know something, and that place is uncomfortable. Whenever we come to a place of uncomfortably not knowing or seeing or understanding something, there's a part of us that tends to split into black and white. So we believe that if I don't know, it means I'm lost and I need someone else to find me, to save me. Okay? So that's one extreme. The other extreme would be if I know, it means I am perfect, I am more than enough, and I can save others. Okay? So we're either putting ourselves up or we're putting ourselves down. We come into this place of discomfort that's triggering some deeper issues within ourselves. There's an alternative. The alternative is to embrace the not knowing, to completely embrace I don't know. That is the middle ground. That is seeing through both eyes. Because that I don't know is actually telling us that I don't know, and also I do know. I don't know, and also I do know. Okay, I know that is I love that paradox because it makes absolutely no sense whatsoever, right? So here's a little key and secret to working with, and why I love working with paradoxes, because they completely trip up our conscious analytical minds. They get them completely stuck. And so because of that, because our conscious minds cannot resolve it, and since it cannot resolve it, it realizes it's almost like there's nothing else it's to try to even do. It's like locked in place. Because of that, it activates our intuition. There's no choice. Our conscious brain is like, I can't figure this out. It makes no sense. When something doesn't make sense to our conscious minds, our intuitions take over without us even needing to do anything. So coming into this place this month, I don't know, but also I do know. Because in a deeper sense of knowing, you are complete. The experience of wanting clarity and a desire for feeling complete doesn't mean that we're not complete. It simply means that we want to experience that sense of completion again, and it means there's something for us to unlock deeper within ourselves that will bring us back to that experience of completeness. It means there's something for us to know, that we're ready to know about ourselves. So holding that paradox, I don't know, but also I do know, allows their intuition to begin to feed you, to begin working behind the behind the sidelines, or is that the expression? Behind the curtain. Behind the curtain. And I just have to say for a moment that it is time. Oh, baby. It is so time for us all to ditch this idea that we need to be perfect, that we need to know everything. It is so time to let that paradigm go, okay? It's time for us all to start embracing and loving the fact that we are so freaking imperfect. We are so imperfect. And embracing the fact that everybody else, including those teachers that you love and admire, guess what? They are just as imperfect as you are. It is time to level the playing field and to stop relating to one another through hierarchy. It's time to start loving our imperfections. Because when we start loving our imperfections, we begin to approach all of this, all of the sense of not knowing, of seeking, of desire for wholeness, all the wounds, deeper wounds of unworthiness that get activated within that, all the ways we begin to split. It allows us to come and deal with all of that from a place of utter compassion. Utter compassion for ourselves, utter acceptance that because we are experiencing this, it means we're so freaking complex. And because we're so freaking complex, it means there's so much more for us to learn and discover and grow. And because of that, life is so mysterious and so fun. And because we are experiencing it, everybody else is too. When we have compassion for ourselves and our own struggles, and we realize that if I'm imperfect, I'm going to consciously ditch this idea that I'm imperfect and nobody else is, or I'm imperfect and she is perfect, he is perfect. I'm going to ditch that and embrace the fact that they're imperfect too. Means that we come into a new type of relating with one another that equals the playing field. Because here's the thing. Everybody, all those leaders and teachers and coaches and people that you admire and follow, they have all discovered ways within themselves that work, that help them, right? And they share those ways with others. I do this too. I fully embrace this. And because there is this part of us that comes from this place of service, where if we discover something that works so well with us, we want to share it with the world. We want to share it with others. But just know that those keys that they're sharing are their keys. And yeah, they may really help you, and they may help you discover your own keys. As long as you acknowledge that the keys that they hold are their keys. They're not your keys. They may look and feel really similar to your keys, so they may help you find your keys, but they're not your keys. We all only hold the keys to our own answers, our own wisdom. Okay, so this month, pay attention to the extremes that get activated within you. Okay, this is on a deeper, more subtle level. Pay attention to the feelings of going to one pole. So something is all bad, all good. Something is totally clear or totally shit. Okay, so pay attention to those poles that may get activated within you. And allow yourself, when you come into those poles, if you're feeling one pole, this is how you can come and embrace this energy, is if you're experiencing one pole, one extreme, embrace its opposite too. Okay? So I don't know, but also I do know. I am right and also I'm not right. I am useless, and also I am so needed and useful. I know it feels so strange to begin working with that, but it breaks it down. It breaks through and makes it nonsensical. It allows the intuition to begin feeding you. Okay, second piece this month. Start questioning the rules that lead your life. Start questioning them. Start by noticing them. Notice what rules rule your life, and then start questioning them. Just get curious and be like, is that really true? Is that really true about myself? Is that really true about others? Is that really true about this world? Just start questioning your rules. Step 3, soften into those places of wounding and triggering within you. Those places of wounding and triggering that set off the polarizations and that lead you to start repeating these rules to yourself. Soften into that place from a place of compassion, from a place of embracing your imperfection, embracing other people's imperfections as well. When we begin to do all these 3 things this month, the teachers and that inner wisdom will come. It will begin to unlock. The box unlocks by embracing paradox, by softening in with compassion, by embracing imperfection. The box is going to open. Your intuition will lead you to the teaching, to the learning that you need right now to come back into that place of feeling and experiencing yourself as whole. So that, my dears, is our forecast for this February. So juicy and complex, right? I love working with all these energies. It allows me to come deeply into a sense of awe of our humanity and the complexity of all of our humanities and our journeys here on this earth. And so I have one final question for you. So if you have been watching this video and you've been nodding along, you think, yes, Charlotte, oh, I so agree, oh, I so relate to that, oh my gosh, that resonates with me. If this forecast has kind of struck an inner chord within you, I want to invite you to visit my website at dreamintuition.com and just learn a little bit about how you might be able to work with me and come a little bit closer to my approach. I am currently signing new one-on-one coaching clients. This is a 6-month breakthrough package for those of you who desire to make radical shifts and changes within your life and transform your relationship to yourself into one of trust, into one of confidence, into one of courage, into one of compassion and love, to really experience that sense of wholeness within yourself. And I do this by guiding you to connect deeply to your intuition, by forming the most awesome, intimate relationship to yourself, your higher wisdom, through your intuition. My mission is to help you lead the life you're meant to lead and come into the essence of who you really are. And so to do that, we navigate through and we release and we heal anything that's in the way of that. The way I work is by going incredibly deep. We go deep together. I help you and navigate you into those depths within yourself. And through this experience, we activate incredible healing and you will make incredible discoveries about yourself and who you are and what your purpose here is on this earth. And so if you would like to learn more about that, visit me at dreamintuition.com, click on the link that says work with me. And there's going to be 2 programs there. One, the group program, is currently in hiatus, is currently kind of going back to its foundations and being rebuilt into something slightly different and new. So then click on the Breakthrough Coaching Package. And there you can learn all about what's included in that six-month package. And you can sign up for a free 20-minute discovery call with me. And so these calls are not sales calls. They're simply conversations. They're simply a conversation for us to get to know each other a little bit better, for you to kind of feel my energy in relationship to you, and for me to feel your energy too, and for me to get to know a little bit about your current journey, if we'd be a good fit together, right? If us together is really going to kind of set off fireworks, because we'll feel into that and we'll know within those 20 minutes. And then at the end of that call, I never ask you to make a decision. And so it's really just a way for you to ask questions and learn more about what that experience might be like, and for you just to get to know me and for me to get to know you. So go ahead and go to that Breakthrough Package page, read all about it, sign up for that free conversation with me, and then we'll go from there. Okay. So thank you all for joining me in this February 2018 forecast. And I will see you again soon. I'm planning on doing some other videos this month, more short, inspirational videos, and I'll be again with you in March for your March forecast. Please click the like button if you have enjoyed this, and feel free to leave a comment as well. All right, see you next time. Bye.